Okay, we're going to look at fiction. Now, we have to remember with fiction in section 5, fiction itself is always highly imaginative. It can be surreal, it can sometimes be bizarre as well, but very descriptive. You'll have nice fleshed out characters. Okay, so you would read the piece once, and then attempt the questions. So in the fiction, the first question asks you, in the first 15 lines of the extract, what evidence is there that we've entered into a strange world? So then you need to argue why it's strange. And one of the things is, first off, the question opens with the main character actually seemingly has been kidnapped. Then also that they go into this volcano lair or base, which is all kind of extreme and extraordinary, like something from a Bond film. So you just argue that, and also that there's all these guards with guns and everything. So it's a kind of slightly bizarre situation. So once you say that, you would have your answer for A. Now B, does the writer succeed in convincing you that Dr. Nero is a nasty character? Now actually, I decided to argue the opposite. You could have argued either way totally. It's nice and balanced, that question. So I went, no, in fact, Dr. Nero comes across as a criminal mastermind with a degree in good manners. So it was clever language now. He welcomes and addresses the students. Now, I was able to quote my point of view, which is great because I'm pretty much sure to get most of the marks, if not all the marks, because although the no part might be slightly harder to argue, I'm backing it up. So he says, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your new home. He then proceeds to praise them as unique, special, with rare talent. So lots of quotes. This affability or just niceness is not a characteristic of a nasty man. So I mentioned nasty man like it was in the question. Yes, Dr. Nero is probably evil, but he will not be nasty to his protégés or students. A cool smile is a smile nonetheless. So I've used plenty of parts from the text. So, and asked with a cool smile. Now, are there any questions? So I used that part at the end and reversed it. So you really can argue anything once you have the quotes to back up your point of view. Now, that asks you, would you say the tone of this extra is frightening, ridiculous, or amusing? So you pick one and argue that. So I went for frightening. I was almost going to go for amusing, but that would have been more difficult to argue. So be careful on your choice, because sometimes you can't pick the wrong one. Okay, so then we move on to D. The extract is taken from the opening chapter and asks you why you would like to read on. So I said I'd be very interested in reading on because the premise, the idea of the novel, a school for villainy, is ingenious. Okay, it is sort of like a Hogwarts for evil children. Harry Potter reference there. The idea of the story allows for a rich combination of suspense, drama, and comedy. Okay, so that was me arguing why I would like to read it. Now E. Name a novel or short story you've studied in which someone or something unexpected happens. Describe the event, how people's lives were affected, and did the author succeed in convincing you it was real. Now, I wrote a little too much on that, so you would really only fit 3/4 of a page, not anymore. So just for the unexpected event, I picked the moment when Agmore is forced to kill Jerry, because Jerry has deserted his post in a quest to find his father. Okay, and I just mentioned how it was probably didn't argue it too well that it was unexpected. So it comes at the end of the novel. It actually happens very quickly that the decision for Jerry to be executed happens just within a couple of pages. So it is fast, but also what makes it really unexpected is this, that Alex's character is so non-violent that you would never expect him to be able to do something like this. So his mercy killing is something that you think he wouldn't have the courage to even perform, but he does do it. So that makes it really unexpected. Now, it then asks you at the very end, did the author succeed? How were people's lives affected? So you have to say what was the consequences of their actions. So the consequence of Alex's action is now that he is court-martialed and put in jail, and most likely would be killed. So you would have to say that. finally, it just asks you, do you think this was actually believable? The author did convince me that this event was possible, as it actually just used military law and the protocols and procedures they do. So if it happened in real life, this is how it would happen. So that was a fine reason to give the backup if you're convinced by it or not. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next section.